Gas was my favorite smell.
It was your favorite smell. I mean, I'm not
smell.
just saying this because, for the views.
For the clicks.
For the
We're
clicks.
not doing this for the clicks.
I'd say gasoline at a gas station, top 5 smells.
Easily. Top 3.
Love it.
Top 3 for me. And I yearn to smell.
I had a dad, so it's like...
the smell of him, him picking you up and hugging you. What is that smell?
It's when you used to pump your own gas.
Oh, man. I love the smell of gas. Gas
is great.
Gas cigarettes. I like the smell of cigarettes.
I like one. But once it's like more than one person smoking in the room, it's like now I just can't breathe.
How long did you smoke
one
for?
cigarette. One cigarette sounds like somebody's working on a case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Someone's in the room looking at clues.
2 cigarettes.
2 cigarettes.
The state's coming to take the kids away.
Now they're arguing over whose jurisdiction.
How long did you smoke cigarettes for?
I never smoked.
You never smoked?
Yeah, and you're right to react that way.
Well, I will say your run, when I moved here...
I'm totally open about all the things I've done, but I really have not. So you can bring it all up, but I've never smoked.
2007, I moved here.
Yeah.
You were on a tear.
I got here in like 2005.
But when I was here in 2007, you were in at the Cellar.
Oh yeah.
You were hosting at the Cellar.
Uh-huh.
You were in everywhere. One of my proudest moments was you and I drank all night.
Yeah.
And I outlasted you, and I was just on booze.
What?
Yeah, and it felt like...
Was I doing drugs too?
Yeah.
And you outlasted me?
And you were like, I'm going home.
You know what? And I'm not saying this to take away, because that's
Don't
still
you take
impressive.
away my trophy.
It's still impressive. But I was probably on day 6.
Probably.
Now
that I know
not
that,
without sleep at all, but like day 6 of drinking like that.
Well, because I don't want to do too much of like that reminiscing, because we both don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
And I always hate, and I think fans get sick of it, where we're like, we get it. So, for people that don't know, Julian got me out of waiting tables. I would give credit to you.
I didn't know that.
I would give full credit to you. Well, I wouldn't give full credit. Because
you're like, if he can do it, anybody can?
No. I didn't even know this thing was going on. I did Montreal 2011.
Okay.
And when I signed with my manager, he was like, hey.
Oh, yeah.
I might have a gig for you.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's this gig? And he's like, you're going to meet the people from Guinness, and they maybe want you to host this show. And I didn't know what it was. I went and had Guinnesses with them. I was still drinking. I went and had Guinnesses with them. And then Gwen, who we both know and love, Gwen rules. She was like, oh, you came recommended by Julian McCullough. And then also your manager recommended you. Yeah. So when and I was like, oh, I have to go meet this guy. But we were both Guinness brand ambassadors.
Yeah. Weird. It was the first gig that got me out. Well, no, I booked like 9 colleges at like a conference once. That was when I quit the Stress Factory.
Okay.
But
so you were at the Stress Factory when you were at Rutgers.
Yeah.
You were doing stand-up.
Yeah, I was hosting, yeah.
But you were the house MC.
Yeah. Once I got good at it, it was like, Vinny was just like, he didn't really want to do it anymore.
And so every weekend?
Pretty much.
You would do Thursday through,
Thursday through Saturday, yeah. I started there when I was 21, and
that's gotta be.
But I didn't host until I was like 22 or something like that.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Because then you get good.
I got a job there because I wanted to do stand-up.
Yeah.
And then I got so scared after I saw, because that place was all killers in 2000. It was like...
Yeah. I mean, Stress Factory, for those who don't know, it's in New Brunswick.
Yeah.
Right outside
it's an hour
from
the city.
It's a very easy... It's a good club. Yeah. It's close to the city. So you get the Attels, Patrice's.
It was just tough crowd. It was basically tough crowd.
That's insane.
So I saw Patrice... He would do 2 weekends a year, so I would see I'd see like 10 to 12 hours of Patrice a year.
Crazy.
I would see the same of Attell.
You're also getting Geraldo,
Ted Alexandro.
But I didn't know Guinness got you out of Stress Factory, or one of the
more
things.
or less. I mean, I got those colleges,
but it kept you out.
But it kept me out. Yeah.
So the job was
so weird.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you about this because we've never got to talk about this. The job was, they hired me and they were like, we want you to host a show. They were releasing Guinness Black. Guinness Black was what it was called. And they were doing it. It was like basically like light.
Already black.
Guinness Light. It was called like, I I would have to look it up because this is over 12 years ago.
Green was when I was. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
But they would, when they're launching a new thing, they hired this marketing company to put together a show.
Yeah.
And Gwen found you.
Right.
You did the.
They were Colangelo.
Yeah, Colangelo.
Yeah.
Colangelo was the company that was hired by Diageo,
right,
which owns Guinness.
Diageo owns all the liquors
they own
that you
everything.
can think of. Yeah.
Did you, when you signed to do the Guinness thing,
I remember.
Did you have to sign the same thing I did, which meant publicly you could only drink Diageo products?
I don't remember that.
They were like very, very strict about. They were like, since you are the Guinness brand ambassador.
It sounds like they had bigger plans for you.
I don't know, but they came in and they were like,
yeah,
you can drink Guinness, Harp.
Oh yeah.
Red Stripe.
Yeah. I remember that part. The beers, yeah.
They were like,
the liquor, they didn't care.
Yeah, liquor they can't really do, but they were like, do not drink. Did they take you to Ireland?
Yes.
Me too.
Did you got to go? Yeah.
Which
St. James's Gate.
St. James's Gate.
Yeah, it was
they
pretty
send
cool.
you to Ireland. They like all expenses paid. I was away. I had no money.
That's so cool. That was your first gig, dude.
I had no money.
The only downside we haven't discussed so far is that it's not comedy.
No. Well, that's what you find out.
Yeah.
So they hire you, and when you have a day job as a comedian and you're just trying to get out of it,
yeah,
it's like you don't care.
Oh, you don't care.
As long as it's not what you're currently doing.
The stress factor was so breathing down my neck in terms of like I'd have to go back there and seat tables. So
yes.
like I was so happy to get it.
And I was waiting tables just to the point where I had already done live at Gotham. I was already
so funny.
I was already like in comedy.
Yeah.
But I was during the day going and doing lunches, closing lunches at Dos Caminos on 50th and 3rd.
I just remembered. I remember being jealous of you. This just you were like, I got to go to work tomorrow. I'm like, where? And you're like, at Dos Caminos. I'm still a server. And I remember being jealous. Like, he's probably making some good money on the side. Like, I was jealous of your day job.
Oh my God.
That's how hard it is to do comedy in the beginning.
Yeah.
That I was jealous you still had a job.
You got a stream of revenue.
Yeah, I know. You're probably sneaking guacamole.
Dude, guacamole, staff meal.
Yeah.
I would get to-go containers and stack 3 staff meals.
Drinks. It's probably hard to steal drinks in a corporate.
Not really.
No.
No,
nope.
not if you got a private event with an open bar tab.
Nice.
And you go, oh no, I put in a prickly pear. He was fucking sucking it down. And so
I know, I put in 9 prickly
pears. I go,
pears.
where is all these? Oh no, this tray of Patron margaritas. And then you see your friend that you're a server with, where you're like, Russo, come with me. And you go into private dining and just like.
And in your 20s, you can't get diabetes, so you just like chug 8
everything.
Margaritas, dude, and you feel the same as if you drank water.
Oh, dude, I would take down a drink with a straw. Dude, I had my friend Eli who designed the logo for this podcast. Shout out Eli. He found out, he's like, oh no, take these straws, cut them, then you can drink it faster.
Yeah.
So we put it in like fucking walrus teeth and just fucking suck down margaritas.
That's great.
But Guinness came to me and they were like, hey, we want you to, they hired me.
Yeah.
Which immediately I was like, great. And then I went up to the Colangelo office, which was, 2 things happened that day.
Did you have like a tryout or anything?
They came
and saw me a few times.
They came and saw me do stand-up at Stand Up New York.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
And then I met with Gwen, and then I met with the Guinness people.
Yeah.
And the Guinness people were like, we'll hire him.
Right.
Because
That's great.
And then when I got hired, I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
I just knew they were like, oh, we want you to do these shows for Guinness, which in our brains are like, it's comedy.
Yeah.
And then I went up to Colangelo, and they were like, we're going to lay out what you're really doing.
Yeah, exactly.
But then they gave me my first check.
Yeah.
And it was for $7,000.
Yeah. And that was like.
And I remember dancing at the train station. I was dog sitting for Bobby Kelly, and they gave me that check, and I went and bought my first laptop.
Me too.
That's nuts.
I got my first check from them.
Yeah.
And I forget what it was per show was the fee.
Yeah, they pay you per week.
Was it per week?
Or it was per blocks of city. So we would do it was city. It was by city.
It was by city.
Because you do
right.
3 nights. Right. You would do 2 nights, 3 shows a night in each city.
What were we getting a week?
7,000.
Was it 7,000?
Because I think total it was like 49,000 for like.
I mean, that was like more money than you ever. That was more money than my dad ever made.
Yeah, I called my mom and she was jealous.
Yeah,
she's like, "That's a good amount of money."
Yeah,
That's when I started sending money to my mom and grandma.
I didn't do that part. I was also sending money to your mom and grandma, but it was for something else.
But it was for nudes.
Yeah. I remember I got out of Caroline's. I had gotten the check that day, or it just cleared or something like that.
Yeah.
And I got out of Caroline's at like 12:30 a.m. And I was done for the night. And I was like, I think the Apple Store is open. I didn't know what to do with myself. I had so much energy. I'd never had no financial fear.
Yeah.
My whole life. I mean, even when I was a kid, and you probably know too.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents used to talk openly about, I don't know about rent this month, you know?
Dude, my mom told me when my dad was dying, you can see your father one last time or go to his funeral. That's how much money we have. And they're like, that's pretty dark. That's pretty bleak, Trish.
Which one's cheaper, live or dead?
I go, I'm going to go see him alive, which actually was the wrong choice.
She's like,
you chose wrong.
Say dead. Now you have a new choice, dinner
or therapy.
Yeah.
Albany, New York. I'll be coming to the Funny Bone. I haven't been there in a while. I'll be there November 29th for one night, Albany Funny Bone, and then Vermont. I'll be at the Vermont Comedy Club. I don't know why I said it that way. That sounded weird. Like I've never said the word Vermont before, but I have. Vermont Comedy Club. I will be there the 30th of November through December 2nd. And then, of course, December 8th, Royal Oak Theater in Royal Oak, Michigan. Buckhead Theater in Atlanta, December 9th. And then the following week, I will be at the Vogel Red Bank. Early show sold out. We added a late show. You can get tickets to that. And then December 16th, the Fillmore in Philadelphia. And then that's it for 2023. So go to dansoder.com for those live dates. And again, we hope we're enjoying the podcast. So, but yeah, you were saying you
anyway, I got out of, I just didn't know how to be. I remember I was like, I was electric. I just never had money beyond what I needed for the next week.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'll buy, because a laptop, it's expensive, so it's exciting to pay for it. You still get that rush, but you're also like, it's for work.
Yeah. It's a responsible thrill.
I'm not going to just watch It's Always Sunny on this when I'm hungover.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I rode my bike over to that, the Cube.
On 5th. That's exactly where I got mine.
Nuh-uh.
Greg Stone.
How weird is this? Because we have the same career for the first 5 years of our careers, and we went and spent the same money on the same first purchase at the same place.
I bought my laptop. Greg Stone, a hilarious comic, was working at the Apple Store, and he went, I can get you my Apple discount. So I went and returned the laptop.
Oh man!
And then I had to go eat I went and got street meat.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I'm coming in for my shift. I'll buy it for you. And I went with him and got
that's amazing.
I got like 40% off. Oh. It was insane.
Well, that makes me mad.
It was great.
But I was on my bike, and I remember I rode my bike with that new laptop in my backpack, and I was just like, I'm basically rich.
Yeah, dude, it was.
I
bought a carton of cigarettes. Didn't even.
I hope I accidentally kill a poor person on the way home because I can pay to get out of it.
I'll cover it up. I got cover up money.
Yeah.
But then the job they flew. I'm assuming they did the same thing for both of us.
Right.
Flew us to Ireland.
Yeah.
Put us in a nice hotel.
Yeah.
And then you go to St. James's Gate.
Yeah.
Which is where they make. It's the brewery.
Yeah.
And you get free merch. Mm-hmm. If you ask for it right.
I didn't ask for it.
Oh, dude, I was like, can I get that sweatshirt?
But dude,
my white trash brain went off.
I was
like,
such a train wreck anyway that I would have lost it same day. So it doesn't really matter.
I remember going to the Gravity Bar, which is at the top.
Yeah.
And they were like, you're going to meet Fergal Murray.
Yeah. Oh God, that name just for some reason gave me PTSD.
Yeah. Who was the brewmaster? He no longer is, but he was like.
Oh, because we used to have to say his name all the time in the presentation.
The presentation.
Fergal Murray. Yeah.
Fergal Murray, the brewmaster, Fergal Murray, and they were like, you're gonna go up there. He's gonna teach you how to pour a Guinness and drink a Guinness, and we're gonna film it because they wanted it for B-roll and shit.
Yeah.
And I remember going up to Gravity Bar and I just wanted a beer, and it's all these tourists or whatever, and you get your token, so I get a beer and I drink it because we both have problems,
right?
And I'm like, can I get another Guinness? And the lady
I'm like,
goes,
I have to have another one, by the way.
Once you get one, now you've started
I don't know if you realize we're in Ireland, right? I don't need to explain this.
Yeah. You guys, this is your problem that you brought to our land and put in my blood.
The least you can do
is give me another Guinness. So I remember I go, can I get another Guinness? And the lady goes, you get one per trip. And I go, oh, I'm actually meeting Fergal Murray. And she goes, you're meeting Fergal. I just remember her saying that.
Wow.
I go, yeah, I'm actually meeting Fergal Murray. And she goes, you're meeting Fergal Murray.
What?
And I go, yeah. And I'm like, I don't know anything. So I'm like, yeah, I kind of.
Plus, you're dressed like Dan Soder.
Like this wrestling t-shirt. I mean, exactly the same.
Yeah.
And I remember she goes, if you're here to meet Fergal Murray, I'll pour you unlimited Guinness if you're here to meet Fergal. And Fergal walks up and meets me, and I'm shaking hands like a photo op. I look over at her as we're shaking hands. I go, hey, like that.
Oh, wow.
And she just grabs a pint and starts pouring and
Look
just slid one over. And we laugh. Like, she was, the Irish, they're funny.
Yeah.
So she started laughing about it.
Yeah.
But she was like, I thought you came up with the greatest hustle I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And she was like, here you go.
Who knows his name? Like, although a lot of the people that take that tour are nerds. They're Guinness nerds.
So that's what
they probably do all know his name, now that I think of it.
But teaches me to pour it, teaches me how to drink. So that Ireland trip, I'm sure you just got to go to bar to bar.
Yeah, you just go to bars. And I remember, not to like put a dark cloud on all this whole thing, but like I was such an I was like really bad. So I was like disappointed a little bit because they closed bars early there.
Yeah.
And I wasn't done.
Yeah.
Like
because they would get you going.
I'm such a jerk because it's like I'm in this place. I've been given it's the only reason I got a passport was to go there because I'd never been anywhere before.
That's really funny.
We're both so white trash.
Yeah, we are. We're just like, well, now we're going. We want to go.
I had one from Montreal. I got it from Montreal.
Me too.
It was the second thing I needed it for. And then I don't think I used it again for who knows. But anyway.
Almost exactly the same.
But they closed the bars early there because the whole country has a problem. And they're like, we can't do last call past midnight.
They also
or no one will go to work in the morning.
They also care more about drinking than we do, so they clear the lines. They blow out the beer lines.
It tastes great.
They make sure everything tastes all right. They're like actually making sure quality. But I would start drinking. I don't know if you knew. I would get like drunk.
Yeah.
And then I would want to go out.
Right.
And then I would want to drink like a Budweiser. I would want to drink like something that I liked.
Yeah.
And they would be like, you can't.
Certainly not there.
And I remember I got blackout drunk. And I was at the hotel where we were all staying with Diageo and with Colangelo.
Yeah.
And I was drinking.
Now, these are marketing people.
These are marketing
people. They're cool,
people.
But they're marketing people.
But they want to do their job.
They do.
They want to market.
Yeah.
They want to market as much as possible.
They want to continue to market.
They want to continue to market. And so we're drinking, and I order a Budweiser and a shot of Jack Daniels.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely not Diageo.
And they came around the airport, like in the hotel bar, and I saw like the boss, like come around, and I was like,
oh, really?
Huh? And then I remember.
Because they saw you, or they just happened to be
They were just coming to the bar to have a drink. Okay. It was like late.
Yeah.
And like the bar was open for a little bit longer. And I took a shot and started drinking the beer like,
that's so
no.
funny.
And the guy I was with was like, they saw it. And then I was drunk and paranoid that I was going to get fired.
Did you like apologize too much?
No.
Oh, good.
I was just very scared.
Yeah,
I was just outside pacing, smoking cigarettes. Like, they're going to fire me.
Yeah.
They're going to fucking fire me.
Yeah.
But.
Isn't that funny? We both talked about how both of our parents never dreamed to have the money we just got. Yeah. And we're still like, but I'm going to have to drink the different kind. Like, that's how crazy we were.
But then they make you put together a presentation.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a school project.
So basically, they make you. It's what the job of ambassador is they have these events in different cities, and then people that are on the email list for Guinness, which was news to me, by the way.
An email list?
Anyone would fill out an email to get more information about what they were drinking. I mean, I was like,
beer fans. Like, we've seen it.
I had no idea they existed.
Because you know why? This was the beginning of the microbrew explosion. This was the beginning of brew your own beer.
Yeah.
This was the beginning of all of that.
And Guinness was like one of the snobbier...
And Guinness, people who knew Guinness were like, I know Guinness.
Yeah.
People would come up to me after...
have an actual history.
Yeah, after shows... I remember Gwen specifically being like, study your shit.
Because these people want to know that you know.
They want to test you.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
You would do shows, but dude, I remember our first weekend of shows.
I remember they'd ask me questions about Guinness to test me, and then I would test them. I'd be like, are you a virgin?
What does a woman feel like? Can you explain that to me? And they go, I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Like Fergal Murray. Fergal Murray.
Well, it's the water. The water is actually... God damn it. Dude, I would do shows. I just remember being like, the hype that they had around these shows, that they're like, these people are going to be so excited.
So these people come to the event. They've been invited.
They're invited by Guinness.
And they are, as like, thank you for being a loyal Guinness fan, basically.
Yeah.
And we're going to have this event in your city, and you can bring one person.
And and they walk in, and they give them a token.
Yeah.
To be like, here's your token for your free Guinness.
Right.
Which people then have their free Guinness, and just like us at the Gravity Bar, they're mad they can't have more.
Right.
And then they have to watch what I can only tell you is an alcoholic book report.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
It's an alcoholic book report. That's what we had to do.
It's literally a PowerPoint.
It's a PowerPoint
Literally
presentation
a PowerPoint.
where they take pictures from you being in Ireland.
Yep.
They take pictures of the stats. Now we were
They have
pushing
a picture of the port of like a painting of Sir Alec Guinness.
Yes, and they let you know about the 900-year lease.
Yes.
And
God.
And you have to do. I remember some lines, and when I remember lines, it makes me want to throw up.
Yeah.
Because I remember I go
3 times a night.
Guinness, and I'd go. The lines that make me want to throw up the most are. Do you know there's only 125 calories per Guinness?
Yeah.
That's the anti. What was it? That's the anti-beer belly beer. Shit like that.
Oh, I don't remember anti-beer belly beer.
I would say stuff and I'd be like, just fucking do it.
However, if your fans are going to learn anything,
Yeah.
they should, because people like to learn from podcasts.
Sure.
Guinness does have fewer calories than a regular Budweiser.
It really does.
And people always make it. It is frustrating once you learn that.
Because they go like, oh, was that a loaf of bread?
Yeah,
And you
exactly.
go,
Like, oh, I didn't order a steak meal. I ordered
It's the worst thing is when you
and then we have to be like, well, actually.
where you take something serious.
Yeah.
Where you take something corny serious. Where
Yeah.
you go, I understand the jokes you're making. But it's 120. I understand we're having fun right now, but I actually do know the answer.
You're like letting them finish the sentence, but you're like, I know, yeah, I know, but actually,
and we're having fun.
But actually,
But you should know
you should just know
that it is.
Look, I used to be like you,
Oh, dude.
and now
The line that always
once you know better, you do better.
will stick in my head.
Dude, that 900-year lease almost made me gag. The line, they signed a 900-year lease,
Yeah,
which
and I
turned
know what
out
you're
to be a really great business, blah, blah, blah.
Because you had to write a joke. I think my joke was like, talk about rent control.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm like, kill yourself. But the thing I remember saying that is soul crushing, that to this day, because we did the New York one on 19th Street.
Yeah.
And so when I walk down 6th Avenue past 19th Street, I get a chill down my back. Because I remember having...
Sorry, I just remembered my joke.
What was your
Yours
joke?
was talking about rent control.
Yeah.
Mine was, can you imagine the background check?
Oh, my God. Oh, God. And I remember when...
But that's what they wanted.
Because they wanted corny, they wanted schmozzy, and then I remember they would bring out the test beers, so you could do the Guinness Stout.
Oh yeah,
They
the
would do
flight,
Guinness,
the little tiny ones.
and they do like a little flight, and you could try it. But dude, I remember going, oh, it's gonna make me throw up. I remember going, are you guys ready for more beer?
Yeah.
And they wouldn't clap, and I'd go, are you guys ready for more beer?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's not loud enough.
Oh.
I remember hating that because you had to do that.
Yeah.
And also being so relieved because you could feel how much they were like, where is more beer?
Yeah.
So being able to say, are you guys ready for more beer was like a stress relief. It was like a, what do you call it?
It was taking your shoes off.
It was like taking a valve off.
Yeah, they take their shoes off and be like, oh, thank God.
Exactly.
But to this day, what was your walk-on music? Do you remember?
Oh God.
I remember mine. I remember it.
Did we get to choose our own?
No, they chose. I mean, they chose mine.
It was Departed. It was The Departed.
Oh, you had Shipping Up to Boston?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I had?
I just call that song The Departed.
The Departed. The Departed. It's by Flogging Molly.
There's a bunch of white guys real mad at me right now.
It's fucking Flogging Molly. It might not be. Is it Flogging Molly?
It is. No, it's...
not Flogging Molly. It's...
Oh,
hold on. We're almost there.
you put Flogging Molly in my head.
Oh, I know it is. Ready?
Yeah.
Dropkick Murphys.
Dropkick Murphys.
Flogging. It's the same. Aren't they the same?
They're both hitting or kicking something.
Hitting, kicking, dropkick, flogging. You fucking get it. Murphy,
I'm assuming
Molly,
flogging is
Molly Murphy.
hitting
Who
of some
cares?
kind.
Dude, I had White Stripes, Seven Nation Army.
Nice.
And it, to this day, when I hear.
I think I did too. I think they chose that. Yes.
And they go, ladies and gentlemen, your Guinness ambassador, Dan Soder.
I remember now. Departed was the promo that we did. That was the music. They would show. That's what it was. So they would show a hype video before the show.
God damn it.
That was the most boring B-roll you've ever seen in your entire life.
It was just like outside of St. Gibbons, then a picture of us somewhere.
Yeah.
Like
and it was just like lines of people just like them waiting to go sit and watch a presentation.
Oh, God.
But they would play the Departed song in that. And then Seven Nation Army was also my thing. So they must have just like used it.
Yeah, just recycled the
like,
music.
If it ain't broke.
But let me tell you right now, dude, the LA shows, we started in San Francisco. It was rough.
Yeah.
Real rough. LA, everyone came in, had their beer, their hors d'oeuvres, you know, the little baguettes or whatever they're handing out. And then there was 3 rows of chairs.
Now I'm remembering eating all that food because like...
Stress eating?
Yeah, just like...
So they have 3 rows. And in LA, the front row by the stage sat looking at the event, not at the stage.
Oh.
And then I went on stage and they didn't turn around. So I had to do the whole thing with the full front rows backs to me.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh,
but I kept
God.
looking at Gwen going.
Yeah.
But keeping that energy of like, are you guys ready for more beer?
Dude, I remember having so many fights with them about I need to make this funnier because I want to die. I want to die.
You also weren't
this.
allowed to talk to the audience. They said that. They're like, I don't know if that was different from mine. Because I came after you.
Yeah.
I don't know if they changed it. They were like, you do not talk to the audience.
Okay.
You do not go off script.
Right. That part was, I remember. Yeah.
By the end of the tour, I was drinking 3 Guinness.
I mean, I drank so much. Yeah.
3 shows a night.
Yeah.
I was drinking 9 Guinness.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
I gained so much weight.
No, but actually you didn't because it's only 125 calories.
But... oh my God! Yeah.
Oh, let me see that, dude. I knew I was gonna need my glasses.
Yeah. Bust out your glasses.
Watch
oh
this,
my God!
Dude.
Oh my God! You can see the half-empty Guinness behind me.
Oh my God! There's a picture of this.
Can you, when you edit this,
Why
you
do
put
you
it?
have a picture of this?
You found it online.
Oh man! Oh God! We were children.
You know what's funny is did they buy you clothes?
Look at the look in your eyes. You so don't want to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I was also trying to grow my hair out. It was a terrible, terrible decision.
Did you Google me doing it? I have no idea. Oh, okay.
To look it up if they could find your picture.
I've never looked. I have no idea.
But dude, they bought me clothes. Did they buy you clothes?
Yeah. And I just remember sweating like nothing fit right because you're drunk all the time and you're just like you're like you feel fat but you're skinny.
I remember drinking like 9 Guinness a night. And then
there was a jacket. I remember there was a jacket.
They give
like
you
a blazer.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, a blazer. And then you
have to put the jacket on. It felt like putting on like responsibility. It was awful.
Dude, by the end of the tour, so I did it once. You did it once and then stopped.
Did I? I thought I did it twice.
I did it twice. Did you do it twice?
I would have loved to do it twice.
I did it once. Tried to quit drinking.
Okay.
And they were like, Guinness is coming back. They want you to do 10 more cities. Health insurance plus a raise.
Whoa!
And I was like, done. I'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I started drinking. And then the last 2 cities we did, the last 3 cities we did was LA, Chicago, and then we had to move Denver. Chicago was rough. But Denver we moved because I did my Comedy Central half hour. And so I had to tape it then. So Denver became the last city.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to quit drinking when I'm done. It's like
you
Denver's the last,
yeah.
and I'll do it. But dude, LA, because the Diageo guys would come and hang out.
Yeah,
they'd come and hang out.
Oh yeah,
like sales reps, and they would.
You got to be on it. I remember they would scare me extra for certain shows because they were like, so and so's going to be here. And like they were on my side. I mean, they did want me to do well and not get fired, but they were also like...
They were your boss.
Yeah.
And they had boss energy.
And they were like, don't mess around.
And they wanted you to kiss their ass a little.
Yep.
They wanted to show... The first tour, so appreciative. Anytime I met someone from Diageo, I'd be like, oh my God, you know what I love?
Yeah.
Diageo.
Yeah.
I love all the alcohol you make. I'm definitely not mad that my father died of alcoholism.
No.
I thought it was actually kind of cool.
This is, in a way, what he would have wanted.
And so I remember I did Conan in between the first and second tour, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to get itchy. Now I'm starting to be like, but I'm
because you're doing real comedy. It felt embarrassing.
Yeah.
It felt embarrassing to be on stage doing anything but comedy.
Yes.
Because you're it was so corny that you were like, because you're still insecure enough about being a comic.
Yes.
That you're like, people might think this is what I think is good.
100%.
Today, no problem. Are you kidding me?
Cue up White Stripes.
I would do it in a heartbeat. I know I'm funny. I don't care.
Yeah.
Send me out there. I'll do jokes written that that Jay Leno would do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you're like, see, that's not a release. What's going on? This is crazy. What does this guy have a background check? They're like, he's killing with Guinness stuff.
Don't care.
But I remember the LA show.
Yeah.
I would always go outside and smoke cigarettes with the crew, the guys that did lighting, like Steve.
Yeah.
They were awesome. I loved them. I had my guys. And so we were out back smoking, and one of the reps came out, and he was like, how great is this? And I was over it. I was way over it. And he's like, how great is this?
By the way, though, anytime, since high school, I've always hated the guy that's like, how great is this?
Yeah.
When you're having a good moment and someone says, how great is this moment? You're like,
you ruined it.
Now it was great.
Yeah, and you just shit all over it.
And marketing people, that's all who that is.
That's their ethos.
Their whole thing is, how great is this?
They go, wouldn't you want to feel this all the time? But he came out.
This guy's writing about you.
Oh no!
No.
Oh,
you
no.
got reviews?
For the second half of the hour.
See, when I did it, it was really still underground.
Yeah, you were, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, this is great. For the second half of the hour, there was a presentation on a small stage. The host was comedian Dan Soder, who Guinness had hired as an ambassador for the tour. I had a chance to chat with him before it all began, and he was an amiable, thank you, likable guy and a big Bill Hicks fan.
What?
For which he
you
scored
were so drunk.
I was, buddy, I was in the
brings
bag.
up Bill Hicks that fast?
You know what's funny? I'll tell you who brings up Bill
It
Hicks.
has nothing to do with Guinness.
I'll tell you who brings it up. A guy who feels like a fraud doing this show.
You know who had integrity? Bill Hicks.
I go, and I probably was drunk going like this. Yeah, I don't know. Bill Hicks probably thinks I'm a fucking loser for doing
Let me
it.
tell you something about Bill Hicks.
Yeah, he
died.
He died of cancer. That portion of the show was interesting.
Interesting.
3 short films were shown on the wall. A little advertising pieces.
Remember those short breaks we got?
Oh my God.
The video?
Where I would go stand behind the stage and just go.
And just, just chugging beer
Papa,
behind the stage.
I'm coming to see you.
I know.
Oh my God, dude. It was Black Lager. That's what they were promoting.
Black Lager.
Black Lager.
Okay.
So in LA, we're out back smoking, and the guy comes up, and he's like really giving the full, like, how great is this?
Yeah.
And I'm not
This is a Diageo guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
A big Diageo guy.
And I don't know if people know that are not, have never been in the corporate world. If you've never been in the corporate world and you've never had to deal with someone in the corporate world, you really don't know what it's like. These people, if they're really in it for life, they bleed the color of the company. I mean, they really buy the stuff.
There is
wholesale.
Al Qaeda
where
devotion.
You want to look in their eyes and you want to go, are you in there? Like, what is this, dude?
You don't believe any of this.
It's like Stepford Wives stuff to the level where it would like chill me to my stomach.
It's like in porn where you see the woman's eyes are just deadened.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm just getting nailed on this rock on this beach.
I mean,
I'm not feeling any of this.
But they also look like it feels like they love it, but you're like, that's impossible.
You can't love this corny shit.
No.
But he did. Dude,
How great is this?
He had a Guinness fleece on.
Yeah.
He came out and he was like talking to me and he's like.
Quarter zip?
Yeah.
Quarter zip fleece?
Quarter zipped up. And he was like, so.
It was zipped all the way down because it was party time.
Yeah, he goes, uh-oh. Someone just had a little bit more Black Lager. I remember he was like, specifically, I was smoking a cigarette with Steve and I forget Andy, Steve, and I forget the third guy who was.
I remember what they look like, but I don't remember their names.
Oh, dude. Well, I'll tell you, one of them did lights and sounds for the Dave Matthews Band.
He did?
That was like what his job was. And then off season, he did this.
Yeah.
He gave me a THC pill. And I took it when I was working the Punchline in San Francisco one time. And it was one of the most uncomfortably high I've ever been in my life. I was scared.
I would never do that.
I was scared for 7 hours.
All the drugs I did, I would never do that.
It was wild. And I got it from him.
You've never met a less funny person than me on weed.
Me on me. Oh. Me taking weed.
I'm so dumb.
Yeah.
I'm laughing. I'm having a great time. But I can't make a joke for my life.
So I remember we're outside, Andy, Steve, and we're smoking. And this guy comes out and he's like, so, you been to L.A. recently? And I go, oh, he goes, you been to L.A. since the last time Guinness was here? And I went, yeah, actually, I did Conan in January. And he went, did you talk to him about Guinness? And I was, Julian, I swear to God, I was so over
That's
it.
what I'm talking about. That's the first thing he thinks.
Yeah, I was so over it. I go, why the fuck would I do that? And he didn't understand that I wasn't about that life. Like, that was him realizing.
You said, why the fuck would I do that?
I was smoking a cigarette.
Was it the last city?
It's like second to last city.
Oh, yeah.
And I go, why the fuck would I do that? Like that.
Whoa, you
And he
were
goes,
done, dude.
And he goes, I don't know. And I walked away, and Steve and Andy looked at me like, dude, what's wrong with you? And even me, I was like, why did I do that?
You're like, I don't know if you know this, but Conan paid me $1,200, so I don't really need this job anymore.
Goodbye.
I can't believe you said that to the guy. That's so funny. That's like when like a kid goes up to Mickey Mouse in Disneyland, and Mickey's like, listen, kid.
Yeah, he goes, kid, I'll take a picture, but this is all we're going to do. So we got to wrap up, but how did you leave it? Did the tour end and then you were just like, I'm done?
No, what happened was, I loved the people, but yeah, it was, I hope we're making it clear that it was a true existential issue.
It's almost exactly how the way you were talking about.
Because the conflict of the money versus like, I feel like such a tool doing this.
It was what you talked about your first set and you go home and the idea of what you thought you were is shattered.
Yeah. Because
I think you come up through, especially like through New York comedy of like, everyone's like, what are you, a fraud? What are you going to move to LA? What are you, like, there's a lot of that.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of like sellout stuff.
Yeah, don't be a sellout.
Yeah.
And then you do this Guinness gig, which gets you out of a shitty gig that you don't like.
Right.
But then you go back to your hotel and you're like, I'm a sellout.
Well, you know what it is? Back then, we were still like, I should have spent tonight doing sets.
Yes.
That's how crazy we were.
It was 7 nights a week.
About doing stand-up.
Yeah.
Is that if I was holding a microphone and not being funny, then what am I doing? I'm wasting my life.
I felt so...
Which is admirable.
Yeah, but I felt that. I felt like...
Failing felt... As bad as that felt, was a different horrible feeling. Failing in my first set...
Yeah.
That pain is not the same as the doing a Guinness gig pain. And the Guinness gig pain really, it's like, you know when you have a tag in your shirt that's itching your neck?
Yeah.
It's like you can't scratch it and you can't take it off.
You need it.
And it's all over your body.
And you know you're going to return. Yeah, dude, it was those pictures that Mike's bringing up make me remember being like,
yeah.
Like my family came. And I was like, please don't watch me do this.
So embarrassing. My family came. In Philly, we did Philly.
It was like watching your friends watch you strip. It was like I had big eyelash extensions on and my tits and glitter on my tits. And I came out and I'm like, just doing my little dance. And they're like,
and the crowd's like, they're like,
slut. And you're like,
you got a tear going down it.
I'm doing that thing where I pick myself up with my back, and I look over, and my mom's like, yeah. Frequents New York comedy clubs. This guy could make a knitting museum tour funny.
Hey, look at that! I remember fighting with him constantly. I know we got to stop.
Yeah.
But I would push back against the script all the time. I was always trying to write jokes that I could stomach saying.
Yeah.
You know.
Because you do the first run and you go, this sucks. Let me punch it up.
I can't do this, dude. I can't do it. You hired the wrong person.
Well, Gwen was so cool.
She was in a tough spot.
Yeah. By the end of it, by the end of our second tour, she knew she was done. I don't even think she came out on like the second half of the second tour.
Yeah.
She was like, I'll be with you for the first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But she really gave me the like, hey, do what you got to do to survive.
Yeah.
And then it became like, oh, this is fun.
Right.
Okay, I can.
Yeah. At a certain point, they gave up on me and said, not gave up on me, but they were like, the first few had to be good so that the corporate people think that's what you're going to go do when you go out there. And then once you're out there,
it's like any job.
Yeah, basically.
You train, you act like you take it seriously, and then you do the job and you're like, I don't take it that seriously.
Yeah. But anyway, all that being said, if they called me tomorrow, I'd probably do it again.
Guinness Ambassador, let's run it back. Are you guys ready for more beer? I think the question is, are you ready for more beer?
What's so funny is I feel like there was so many actuallys in that script for some reason.
Actually?
Yeah.
There is a lot of actually.
There's a lot of actuallys. Actually, you're not as bored as you think you are.
I want to find out, like, I'm going to call ahead when you're on the road and tell the club to play White Stripes 7 Nation Army as your walk-up music, just to shell shock you.
Or Departed.
Oh.
Either one would get me going, dude. Yes.
He put it as our music to announce we're doing the in Boston. I'm doing the Wilbur.
Were you like, take that down?
I didn't know, and it came up, and I was like, oh! It like psychologically fucked with me. I was like, no! But the post was up, and people had liked it.
Oh, God.
Julian, you are, when I tell you, you are one of my favorite people to hang out with. You are one of the funniest motherfuckers I've ever met in my life. Thank you for coming by.
I'm going to say something that people never say in comedy, all right?
Yeah.
We did do a lot of the same stuff coming up, right?
For sure.
You were like right behind me you did everything right after I did it. It was eerie. I can't believe you bought a laptop at the same store
Single
with the
female.
same check. It's
I changed
crazy.
my name to Julian, but it didn't stick.
But I've often been jealous of how funny you are, and so it's, you know, I don't know if I ever said that to you, but
no, dude, it means, I mean, like, we had you on the bonfire, and you left
with that. You exposed me to Corey Feldman.
Oh my God!
I did not know that was what was going on.
I'm going back on the bonfire because there's been so much new Corey Feldman. They're bringing me in.
I want to come just to sit in.
They're bringing me in.
I won't talk. I just want to know.
I'll tell them. I'll be like, by the way, Julian,
I got to come back, dude.
Because Bobby's got to learn about it. But you had just moved back to New York, and you came on the bonfire, and you walked out, and Jay, Christine, and I were like, well, we got to have Julian on at least once a week.
Yeah.
He's so goddamn funny.
I mean, you and Jay are the two. I always say, even when you're not around, and everybody already turned this off because they don't want to hear this stuff, but I always list you and Jay as the funniest hang.
Oh my God!
There's nobody funnier to hang out with, and you got voices, which is not fair.
Yeah, but we got to hang at the SNL after party, which made for Katie and I. Katie and I are horrible in those situations.
Yeah, thank God the three of us had the same attitude about that stuff.
And we were all in the corner, making fun of Nate.
Like happy for Nate, and that's about
super happy for him, but
that's
also
about it, dude.
Completely seeing that Nate will absolutely join the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Because all they'll have to do is say one nice thing and they'll go, I don't know why they get a bad rap. They're actually good dudes.
People always talk about the bad stuff they do.
I mean, have you done adrenochrome? It'll make you run through a wall. It's unbelievable. JulianMcCullough.com.
No, I'm just on Instagram right now.
All right,
so that's
at Julian McCullough.
At Julian McCullough.
Follow him on Instagram.
Yeah,
one of my favorite people.
I'm opening for Nate on tour. I'll be on a bunch of tour dates this year. So
opening for Nate, but also go see him headline whenever you can because he's fucking hysterical.
Thank you.
Man, you opening for Nate. You want to talk about that? Like, you're such a seasoned comic.
Yeah.
You had a line that Katie and I talk about all the time where you go, sometimes you have a friend and you're like, yeah, he's kind of funny, and you let him open for you, and then he becomes the biggest comic in the world, and now I'm going first.
Yeah.
You saying that at this giant theater, I was like, dude, that is so funny.
I go, and I also said that we were a group hanging out all the time back then, and I go, and every group of comics has one guy that makes it, and no one thought it was going to be Nate.
Yeah, dude. And it's crazy. We were at SNL. We got to watch him do an awesome job, and it's just he just keeps doing shit that you're like,
I know. It's crazy.
He just keeps going.
Did you see my post on Instagram? I go, it's like you're standing next to your friend and he does a backflip off a balcony and dunks a basketball. And you're like, when were you going to tell me you could do that?
But the fact that Nate's just like arena. I told Nate at one point, I go, I'm waiting for me to wake up on my couch in 2010 and Nate to be like, come on, buddy. We got to go to... We got to go to Erie, Pennsylvania.
It wasn't real.
None of it was real.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta reach out to Katie Nolan.
And then
I'm gonna marry you one day.
Yeah. And then I come out of a bedroom door all hungover, and I'm like, I had the weirdest dream about Nate.
Did you ever have a dream that Nate was a global superstar? And you go, I had the same dream.
I had a dream that Nate's face didn't look like a potato.
Isn't it nuts? And no more puka shells. Also, Vecchione looked exactly the same.
Yeah, that tracks.
At Julian McCullough, I love you, dude. Thanks so much for coming by, dude.
All right.